So let's talk about the gun incident, which allegedly happened. So during my training in BMT or basic military training, I went through, along with others, the standard simulations and everything. So at the end, you had to go to live firing. All right, so our whole entire platoon was driven over. We went there. And unfortunately, the group before us was delayed. So they were late. So we were in a rush. Now, we went by alphabetical order, and the most unfortunate for me, as usual in my life, my surname starts with a C. So I was last. Now, I think there's groups of 5 or 6. So they will go, they shoot, they record everything, and then go. And when it reached the end, I was the only person left. I mean, out of the 5 or 6 slots, I was the only person shooting. On top of which, I am excused uniform due to my eczema. Meaning I was wearing the PT kit, right? Now, that meant that even if I was a perfect shot, I would never become a sniper or a combat soldier. So I can understand what's going to happen next. Then after that, the shooting started, and there was 3 positions you take. One, you prone on the ground, you shoot, then you on your knee, and then you on your hip, standing shots, right? As I'm starting to go through the process of shooting, the recruits that already shot were quite far back in a shed. Close to me was only 1 sergeant behind me and 2 corporals. Now they are, I kid you not, screaming at me to shoot faster because they just want to get this over with, right? And they're like shouting like, come on, just shoot, lah, Tima, just shoot. Why you need to think so long? Just shoot. I tell you the truth, I am really trying my best to shoot faster. So I'm just shooting, but I'll also be frank, this is the only time in my life I probably hold a live rifle. So I wanted to get a score, right? Like, try my best. So I'm trying my best to be fast and accurate. So I'm shooting. And when I get to on the knee position, I start shooting. I can't remember what was said. The sergeant behind me said something that was just needless. And so I just snap. I won't lie, I just snap. I just basically go like, what do you want? I'm trying my best. And I do this, and trust me, when I spun, all 3 of them from standing position, kick their legs out and fall to the ground flat with their hands over their head like that. And all 3, especially the sergeant, then started screaming, okay, calm down, just shoot, okay, just shoot, but calm down, but better calm down. And I think it's at this point, I also noticed what I just did. And though I go, yeah, I know, right? And I slowly turned it around, and I finished the shot. We finished, and then we walk away. And I think all of us were waiting to see if anything would escalate. And all 4 of us, without saying a word, kind of agreed to just let it go. Because let's be honest, right? Protocol-wise, I was at fault for turning the gun, should we say. And on their side, if there was an investigation, honestly, they would have gone into trouble too for maybe it wasn't a good idea to scream and shout needlessly at a guy with a live rifle. Again, all this allegedly happened. Okay? So that was the gun incident. The grenade incident. So I was given the chance to throw the grenades, and I said no. So when we were driven to the live firing range for the grenades, I just was watching for a safe distance. Now you must understand what happens is that there's a forest here, and then what you would do is you get into this concrete bunker. All right, I'll put some pictures up, but it's not exactly the one I remember, but it's about the same. So you would jump in for the one I remember, and then there would be no top. And then you're standing there, and then you throw the grenade, and then it will explode in the forest. Now, it's nothing like in the movies, to tell you the truth, right? In the movies, you throw a grenade, and then it's like fire and brimstone and all of that. No, real grenades, I tell you the truth, when they get thrown, it's just a few seconds later, you hear, boom, and then you just see some leaves rustling and everything like that. It's very underwhelming, to be very honest with you, right? But it's pretty cool when it's a row of people doing it. But then you hear, boom, boom, and then you see all the leaves and the twigs start flying about. So then we got to one of the people in my unit, in my platoon. My unit was more of the nerdy people who probably end up in Polytechnic, university. This guy came out, he jumped in. I'm about 165, he's I think 160 or less than that. And he's quite nervous as a person. So he's holding the grenade, and then he's like, grenade. He pulls the pin out, and he basically is supposed to let go around here to get the arc. He let go too early. And then his grenade, I remember I'm watching this, by the way. His grenade hits the concrete, hits his body, and falls to the ground. The either corporal or sergeant picks him physically, throws him onto the ground, jumps on him. And then what I didn't say was that in this concrete bunker is the floor is slightly depressed. All right. And then there's a slot open there. So the grenade fell and it rolled out into the forest and then it exploded. You know? And then of course the guy's like checking, are you okay? Are you okay? And then the guy's like, oh, yes, I'm okay. Then everybody's checking on the sergeant or the corporal. Also, everybody's okay. Right? Now you can argue whether he knew this was going to happen, he'll be safe, but long story short, split second, you put yourself between someone and a live grenade, that's pretty badass. And also I'm proud of my country that they designed this bunker where safety was in mind. The last one for me is a fun story where we have something called outfit. The entire company is to go out into the forest and you stay there for 3 days to a week. You shit there, you eat there, you don't shower. Now our platoon was unfortunately what you would call pai ka pai chiu, meaning that, a long story short, useless soldier. We got all kinds of medical issues. So for us, usually even we get driven to the forest, we just walk a bit in there, then we start doing the training. Or actually the one is funny is our company housing is here, right? We'll just walk the forest nearby, walk a bit, then do the training there. And all the training is standard stuff like how to kill chickens, although they didn't waste a live chicken on us. They just showed us and then we'll cook our food there, we took pictures and stuff like that. And so the last thing we had to learn is RT. So what you would do is you're supposed to brace your rifle on your quads or your leg, and then you shout RT, 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 especially for low flying planes coming. And then you shoot at the low flying planes, right? So ammo is very touchy subject in Singapore because it's illegal. So every bullet had to be accounted for. So instead of giving all of us bullets, or in this case blanks to shoot, basically we would just shout RT, 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 then bang, bang, bang. We would say bang, bang, bang. It's quite funny actually. So we did that. All right. Now I think some of the sergeants or corporals showed us with the blanks. So at the end, there was these leftover bullets. You know, so the corporal told the sergeant, we had these leftover bullets. Now you might think, why not just bring back everything as is? But as a person who will go to an ammo unit, let me tell you, it's actually much more troublesome to not do what they're going to do next. It's because if there was 2 different groups, then the bullets that weren't shot will have to be separated and then they have to be accounted for by number and stuff like that. So it's just better to use everything and then throw into one bag. So the corporal was like, hey, should we just give each person a blank to shoot? You know, he's like, don't waste time, come, give me everything. Then he put loads of the bullet into his magazine, you know. And I'm nearby, so I'm watching all this. And then he loads into his rifle. He's like, everybody get down. And all of us like, get down. So of course, all attention's on him now. And then, now this part's like a fucking movie, it's super cool. He braces the rifle on his quad, and then he goes, RT, RT, RT. And in that moment, I'm facing that way, right? So I can see him flip his rifle to full auto. And then he goes, it was fucking cool. I mean, there wasn't muzzle flare because it's blanks, but then you see all the bullet casing flying out of the gun, and like he's braced like that. Woo! Like the masculine energy at the moment was like, my God, I wish I could do that. You know, so that is the stories for the day. Next time we're talking about the final part of my BMT training, where there might be broken brooms and some violence, which allegedly happened. So come back next time for that. Till next week.